All right, you want to talk about the Mesa video interview? Well, we're not going to. Well, we're sort of going to. We're going to talk about one specific question in depth during this video, but I have a fuller video about the Mesa video interview, the current one from October 2020. The link is in the description of this video. But today, I'm going to give you an in-depth conversation about one of the new interview questions with the Mesa video interview. And that question is, let me check my notes. That question is, how has the pandemic changed you? How has the pandemic changed you? What a great question. So this is study hall recap from October 13th. This study hall class was really fun and informative and in-depth and super juicy because we had just gotten the new list of interview questions in the new Mesa video. So Mesa Airlines is hiring as of this recording, is still accepting applications, moving people through the video interview, getting them ready for the next step, which is more than likely the group video interview. And so we got to talk during the study hall session a lot about Mesa. Of course, a lot of the students were interested because they've applied with Mesa, or they're getting ready to take their video interview with Mesa, or they're hoping to take a video interview with Mesa soon in the future. So this was a really, 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 really fun class. This one was really special. But this is the recap. So during this class, one thing that we talked about was how we had sort of been preparing as study hall students for the last couple weeks to encounter these new type of interview questions, like that were sort of based around the pandemic, or more specifically, health focused. So after 9/11, aviation and the flight attendant career definitely changed from just safety to safety and security. Keeping the plane secure was the big focus as to how we keep people safe. And now with the pandemic and all of the things, we're going to see another shift where we go to health and safety, where health is really a focus that had not maybe been there before, to partner along with our responsibility as safety professionals. So the newer question on the Mesa video interview is, how has the pandemic changed you? Now, we discussed all of the questions, which again, you can find a full recap on the video interview in the video that's linked in the description. But I want to talk about the one that we talked about specifically. And that was, like I said, how has the pandemic changed you? How has the pandemic changed you? One reason that I love this question is because you can answer this question no matter where you are or what happened with the pandemic with you. So if you ended up unemployed, it's not like a job focused question. You can kind of go at this question in any kind of direction and give a really good, confident answer that showcases all of your brilliance, which is the goal for answering every single interview question that you're ever asked. So let's talk about it. Now, how's the pandemic changed you? One of the students talked about the fact that the pandemic has changed her in a way that she realized that she needed to check on others more often than she probably had previously, that people can be more susceptible to depression or anxiety or other things that can kind of bog them down. And even if they look happy and sparkly on Facebook or on Instagram, being during the pandemic and really being apart forced her to check in on the people that she loved more than she had previously. The way that she had checked in with people before had just been very casual, and now she really takes the time to make sure that the people that she loves are doing well. And so I thought that is a fantastic answer. Good. That's how the pandemic has changed her. So basically, she's become more empathetic. Good, right? Right? Good answer, right? Okay, another one that we had from another student was along the same lines. was that one way that the pandemic has changed her is she's really learned how to read body language and people's eyes and communicate with people in a different way. So before, when we could see people's whole face, you could get clues from people's whole face. But she had to change in her customer service position. She has had to change to being able to tell what people need in a new way based on their eyes or based on their words or based on their gestures or their actions, because she can't see people's faces. So the pandemic has changed her. She has learned how to read nonverbal clues from her customers as well as her coworkers in a new and better way. Good answer, right? Good answer again. Now, the other answer that I want to tell you about, this one was first of all presented in a way that was very rough. But then we talked about it and we were able to clean it up and shine it up. So I want to first tell you how it was presented. And he said, well, I don't really know if this is a good answer, but the pandemic showed me that, I got furloughed and I lost my job at the hotel. And so the pandemic changed me because I lost my job. And then he said, but because of study hall, I just signed up to be a volunteer. So I guess that it's kind of showed me that like being home and like just not doing anything is not for me. And I was like, okay, that's great. It's very rough. Let's see if we can polish it up. And so this is how we polished it up. So instead of saying kind of all of that, what I advised him to say was something a little bit more succinct. So, of course, during study hall, these questions are you have a little bit of time to prepare, like 10, 15 minutes, but this is the first time you've answered them in a lot of cases. So they are always really raw. And that's one of the great things about study hall is, first of all, you get that first time out of the way because the first time's always the worst. And then you also have the opportunity to get some advice to kind of shine it up. So what we talked about was how the answer to the question really was how has the pandemic changed me? What the answer to the question really was for him is that the pandemic has changed him in the sense that it taught him that sitting at home and being at home was not for him. So after being furloughed, he decided that he still needed to get out and connect with people and serve customers. So he started to look into volunteer opportunities in his community, and he was able to volunteer with a soup kitchen in his community. And that allowed him to serve his customers in actually a really similar way that he had been serving them in the private club at the hotel, but in a way that was a little bit different. So he was using some of those same hospitality skills, but with just a different group of customers. And so that answer is a really great answer. It shows how, first of all, it talks about his skills in food service and in hospitality, which is definitely a plus if you're going to be a flight attendant. And it also shows, again, some empathy and some compassion, as well as some problem solving and some just like action taking. You know, he didn't want to sit around and be bored in the. You want me to do the TikTok? He was bored in the house, and he was in the house bored. So what did he do? He went out and there's not a lot of jobs right now. That's the reality. But he was able to find a volunteer opportunity that still allowed him to connect with other humans, serve other people, and probably learn some new customer service skills at the same time. So I thought that answer was fantastic. This question, I really, really loved it because, again, like I said, if you're employed, if you're unemployed, if you're furloughed, if your job closed, if you weren't employed anyways before, stay-at-home mom or whatever, like this is a great answer, a great question, because it is anybody, no matter what your situation is, can answer this question and use it as an opportunity to talk about how they have grown and changed, hopefully for the good, during such a very, very, very hard time for all of us. So kudos to Mesa for asking such a brilliant question. I'm in love with it. And again, if you want to learn more about the Mesa video, check out the description, check the link. You can watch the free video on YouTube all about the Mesas. And I'll see you during the next recap. Talk to you later. Bye.